Look up at the sky, ask it why are you all so afraid?
What is up, everyone? My name is Andrew. If you don't know me, you should subscribe because, like, why not? You should also hit the notification bell down below to be notified every time I upload a video. But anyway, today I'm going to be doing a book haul. The last book haul I did was about 2 months ago. Like usual, that's about how long it takes me to accumulate a lot of books. Today I have over 20. So that's a lot. This is my biggest book haul so far of the year. I'm really happy because a lot of these are really great books that I've been wanting, and I found some secondhand, I got some new ones, I splurged on some, and yeah, I found some that came into my work at the bookstore. So it's just a great haul. Like, I'm really excited about a lot of these books, so I really want to share with you guys, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. I just had them in a pile on the floor, so they are in a mixture of just new books, older books, hardcovers, paperbacks, like everything. I have absolutely no order to this, so let's just dive in with the first one that I can pick up. I just grabbed a stack and we're just gonna go. So the first one on here that I got is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This one, I believe, is an adult fantasy. I actually started it today. I'm about 75 pages in onto chapter 4. I'm liking it a lot. It, from what I can tell, is about a girl who is what in this world is called a maiden. Her name is Poppy, and she is destined to become ascended and to serve the gods, something like that. And on the way to that, there's a lot of trouble arising in this kingdom, in this world. And of course, there's some romance and intrigue and some love interest, I'm pretty sure. So I'm excited about this one. It has been so hyped. I'm also reading it for a secret TBR video that I'm doing, a kind of reading vlog thing. So that's pretty exciting. If you want to check that out, it'll be up after this one eventually. But yeah, so that's From Blood and Ash. I also picked up Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. Some of these I don't know what they're about, so I can't give you any synopsis. But this one is an older young adult novel that has been out for a pretty long time, and I heard about it a lot. It used to have a very different cover that I didn't like at all. But when I saw these, I honestly like these covers a lot more. I don't know how it is in regards to what it pertains to the book and what happens in the book and the characters, but it looks really pretty. The cover honestly drew me in, and it's been hyped up so much. That's also what drew me in, so I did fall into the hype, but I do hope it lives up to it. If you've read this, please let me know. I really want to know if it's good because I'm intrigued and I want to read it. Also got Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This one is a young adult fantasy, probably sci-fi. I mean, as Brandon Sanderson, it looks pretty sci-fi to me. This cover is gorgeous. I love the vibes of this. The purple, it's just so pretty. But I haven't read any Brandon Sanderson, and I do not know where to start. If you have any recommendations, should I start with Skyward or Mistborn? Those are the two I have, and the two that I want to start with or want to start at. I don't know. But yeah, please help because I don't know. I don't know how to get into Brandon Sanderson. Also got White Cat by Holly Black. This one is a very old young adult fantasy. That's all I know. So White Cat is the first book in the Curse Workers series. Just the way that I have seen Holly Black talk about this, when I met her at one of her tours, she talked about White Cat and described it, and I was like, ma'am, that sounds so good. And it's one of her very early works. So Holly Black is definitely somebody that I want to read everything she's written because I know I'll be entertained. And that's kind of where I am with this one, except it does really sound exciting and it's very magical. Basically, it's about this character whose name is Cassel, C-A-S-S-E-L, Cassel. And he is the one person in his family who has no magic. I'm gonna read you a little bit of the back and just so you can be intrigued like me. So it says, he hasn't got the magic touch, so he's an outsider. As long as you ignore one small detail. He killed his best friend. Okay. Now he is sleepwalking, propelled into the night by terrifying dreams about a white cat. He also notices that his brothers are keeping secrets from him. As Cassel begins to suspect he's part of a huge con game, he must unravel his past and his memories. To find out the truth, Cassel will have to out-con the con men. We love out-conning people. This sounds so good. And it's so short, like I could read it really fast and I'm so tempted, but yeah, I can't wait to get to this one. Seriously, this one is like really high priority on my TBR. So as you probably know, if you've watched like any of my videos, I've been reading Bridgerton by Julia Quinn, like the whole series. I'm on book 3, I think, which I don't know what book 3 is, but I picked up When He Was Wicked. I believe this is number 7. I'm just getting them as I can find them. This is an offer from a gentleman. I think I already had this one. I don't know, maybe I haven't hauled it yet. So I got both of these, but they're really beat up copies. Like this one's really age-tan and everything, but I've been wanting to buy them secondhand because I like the OG covers. So that's pretty much why these are like really old and I'm not buying the new covers. I'm just weird like that. I just don't want the new ones. I want the old ones. I also picked up Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. I don't read poetry ever, and I know this one is like really popular and people kind of make fun of it because it's just like one of those ones that literally has like pictures and like short random little poems, and also like you're wasting paper on just like this one 4-line poem. But you know, I don't think like that. Like I'm excited. I want to try to read poetry. I feel like where else is a better place to start than Milk and Honey? It's kind of like a classic of poetry on booktube. So I'm excited to have this one in my collection. I found it secondhand. It cost me literally like $3, so that was exciting. And yeah, I do want to try it out. I also picked up 2 little mysteries. Who am I? I'm having an identity crisis. This is not Andrew Reads. As you know, we do not read mysteries here. We just aren't that kind of channel. But here I am. These are really cute. They're like little square shapes. I've never seen this like shape of a book. I kind of like it. But these mysteries came into the bookstore and I was like putting them in the computer and I was reading them. I was like, hold on, these sound really good. So I'm gonna try them out. This one is called Never Have I Ever by Jocelyn Jackson. This one is about a girl named Amy, a woman named Amy, excuse me. She has like a 15-year-old daughter. She's a woman. So she goes to book club and this mysterious other woman named Angelica Rowe shows up to book club, and everyone is just infatuated with this Angelica Rowe because she's just mysterious, she's cool. Everybody just like wants to hear what she has to say and listen to her and be her friend. Well, that is until she goes up to Amy and is like, you need to do whatever I want, you need to give me whatever I want or else you're gonna pay. And Amy's like, what does this person know about my life? Like, what is going on? And I'm like, what did you do, Amy, that she has this over you? How does she know this? It's just so intriguing. I need to know what happened. And the fact that it's like all starts at a book club, sign me up. And on the other hand, this one is called Before the Devil Fell by Neil Olson. And this one is about a guy named Will Connor who goes back to his hometown after he's been off at college. He goes home because he has to take care of his injured mother. Well, his mother was injured in a incident that it is explained on the back as during one of her new age spirit circles. So the whole premise of this mystery also has to do with witchcraft, which I just think is cool. I've never seen a kind of paranormal mystery or just the 2 genres blended so abruptly like that. I don't know, it seems cool to me. I don't know, I'm gonna try it out one day. We'll get to this eventually. So I also picked up The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I'd seen this going around booktube for a while, and I think my mom actually bought this for me, which was cool because we went to Barnes & Noble together and she bought me a couple books, and I've been wanting to check it out and see what it's about. But from what I've gathered, and by gathered I mean what I've read from the synopsis on the inside of the book, is that it's about a girl named Avery Grahams, excuse me, plural Grahams, and she is left with a big fortune, like basically the $1 million life fortune from this old man named Tobias Hawthorne. And the only catch is that she has to move into his mansion to receive this fortune. And also he didn't leave it to his own grandchildren, his own grandsons. He left it to Avery, and I think they just don't even know each other. Could be wrong, but that's what I'm getting, and that's like very mysterious. And it's also said that this mansion has a lot of secrets and hidden passages and stuff like that, so it sounds very interesting. This title just will never not remind me of the Hunger Games. I don't know if kids kill other kids in this book. If they do, I'm here for it, but it just reminds me of the Hunger Games for some reason. The cover, gorgeous. This green color, gorgeous. I love it. And it's a young adult. I think it's even like, oh, it doesn't have the kid ratings, but yeah, it's a young adult fantasy, I'm guessing. So mystery, I don't know what it is, but I'm excited. Then I got The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. I really like N.K. Jemisin's works when I read the 5th season, so I'm excited to try this one out. I've seen a bit about it, so I'm excited to try it for myself, see if I like it. It is an adult fantasy, and I trust N.K. Jemisin to give me a good adult fantasy because I did enjoy the 5th season, except the world building was like a lot. This one seems like it's gonna be about the same. I think this is actually shorter than the other book, so maybe I will like this one more. I don't know. This one says, Yin is named an heiress to the king, but the throne of the 100,000 kingdoms is not easily won, and Yin is thrust into a vicious power struggle. We love struggles for power tropes. Like, I don't even know if it's a trope, it's just like a thing. Like, that's kind of how Jude is in The Cruel Prince. She is in a huge power struggle and wants power, so maybe that's the same case with this. And either way, I'm here for it. I'm excited. Yes, Yin. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Y-E-I-N-E. Yin? Yen? Something like that. But yeah, I'm sure I'll find out as I read it. Also got The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. This one is cool because I believe this is the Fairy Loot Owl Crate. This is the Owl Crate edition. I have the little card, and then it also is a signed copy. This one is a young adult fantasy, and the world just seems very rich, so I'm excited to get into that one day when I eventually get to the book. And the back says, are we girls or are we demons? Are we going to die or are we going to survive? That's kind of cool. I actually like that. And this cover, gorgeous. I love the greens. Like, the greens on covers is just so pretty. I'm in love. Although I don't know if the non-Owl Crate version also looks like this. I don't know if it looks different. I think it looks the same. I don't know. But I mostly say that because I got Legendborn in the Owl Crate edition. As you can see right there, I have the original one, but this is the Owl Crate edition one. And this one looks different. Like, it's more purpley than that one. The background is just black. This one is more purpley. I love it. So yeah, like I said, this one is also the Owl Crate edition, and it's signed. I actually read Legendborn this month. I read it on audiobook. So I have 2 copies of Legendborn and did not read either one. I got it for free on Scribd with my free trial and listened to it on audio. I'm mad about that. I'm honestly mad, but it was the only good book I could find on Scribd, so I listened to it while I was working out, and I just needed to get another book in for the month, and I needed to... Okay, you don't care. I'm going on and on about this. Okay, anyway, about the book. So this book is about Bree Matthews, who is a college student, and she goes off to college and realizes that this college has a lot of underground magic going on. It's not called magic, it's called like ether and different things like that. Bree was really propelled to go to this school after her mother dies, and she's dealing with that loss, coping with that loss, and ends up kind of doing something that her mother tried to prevent her entire life. But it's really hard for me to explain this because I didn't know too much going into it. I knew that it had some sort of King Arthur retelling, King Arthur mix in here. And the way that that worked out through the book was really cool because I personally do not usually like King Arthur retellings. Like, after I read The Guinevere Deception, I was over it. I don't want to do that anymore. But it was done so well in this book. Like, I guess I just needed it to be done right, and it was in here. So I absolutely enjoyed this book. I honestly am glad I got this edition because it just means a lot that it's signed and it's such a cute copy, and I'm glad I really liked the book in general, and now I can reread this copy and highlight and make notes and everything because I liked the characters, I liked the world, I liked the magic system. I don't want to say too much, but I will say that the beginning was kind of slow for me and I wasn't that interested. It was a lot of info dump kind of, but then as it went on I was like, oh, I needed to know that to know all these other things that are playing out and all these other things that are going on in this world. And then by the end I felt like the last, like the part 4, because it's split into 4 parts, was so good. It was literally like my favorite part of the whole book. It was probably my favorite thing that I've read this month. Like it just blew me away like by the end. So I highly recommend this book if you haven't read it. I love Bree so much. Okay, since I was listening to it, I didn't get to like look at the book and just like see it, and I just love Bree so much. And Cell. I love Cell. If you know who Cell is, then you know. If you know, you know. I love Cell. Sorry, Nick. Anyway, cool. We're like almost halfway, kind of. I have like 12 more books. But I got Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson in this little old, dirty, you know, very used, dust is flying everywhere, very used copy. I do own Mistborn in a bigger paperback, but when I saw this little one, I was like, oh my gosh, I love fantasies in this size because you can just throw them in your purse, throw them anywhere, throw them around and beat them up, and they just last so well. I don't actually condone beating up your books. That's not what I'm saying. That's rude. Don't do that. But I can't tell you what Mistborn is about. I'm sorry. I feel like a lot of people know it's an adult fantasy. I think it's adult. It might not even be adult. It's fantasy. It's Brandon Sanderson. I don't know what else to say. I'm scared of this book. It's such a tiny book. I'm scared of it because I don't know. Going into a big fantasy is really intimidating to me. It's scary because you have to pay attention. You have to use your brain. I also got this one. It's upside down. This is The Well of Ascension. It's a Mistborn novel by Brandon Sanderson. Somebody please tell me where this falls in the series. Is it number 2? I can't read the synopsis of this one because I will be spoiled probably for this one. So somebody tell me if you know, where does this one fall? Now I have both of these. So I also picked up Save the Day by Morgan Matson. I randomly had heard some stuff about Morgan Matson, and a lot of people were kind of raving about her books, so I want to check her out for myself. This one is a contemporary, to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure it is. It looks like a contemporary. It says Charlie's sister is getting married and everything goes wrong at this wedding. First, the wedding planner quits. I'm currently planning my wedding and I don't have a wedding planner, but I am the wedding planner. If I quit, nothing will get done, so I can only imagine what is going on without this wedding planner. Then the house alarm won't stop going off. That's annoying. Charlie's biggest crush shows up unannounced. That's scary. There's a missing tuxedo, an unexpected dog, and a neighbor bent on destruction. That sounds like a lot. Not to mention the event planner's assistant, who is surprisingly, distractingly cute. And that's before things get really crazy, is what it says. That whole paragraph kind of got me. It like intrigued me. It sounds good. It sounds like a fun, cutesy, contemporary. I don't like contemporaries that much. We're gonna check it out. We're gonna try it out. We're gonna branch out, if you will. Let's just keep the ball rolling on me exposing myself, saying I don't read contemporaries, but then hauling them all the time. Dash and Lily's Book of Dares is what it's called. Sorry, on Netflix it's just called Dash and Lily. But speaking of Netflix, this is the Netflix cover. I watched the show during Christmas. It was so good. I'm getting all the feels again, and it was the best Christmas movie ever. Oh my gosh, I want to watch it and just pretend it's Christmas. Also, why is this sticker stuck here? They already put one on the front. They didn't have to put 2. That's really annoying. What the freak? Okay. This book is literally less than 300 pages. That is so short, but that's how a contemporary should be done. They do not need to be longer than 300 if it's just a contemporary. Please, please, I'm begging. But there's also like ones after this in the series. I didn't know, so I need to read this one because I already know the stuff that happens in the show, which I'm hoping is mostly what this book is about. Then I can go on and read number 2. And then I think there's another season coming maybe next Christmas, and then I'll watch the next one. It's gonna be great. I really loved this. It's literally just like a Christmas special, a Christmas romance in a book or a show if you want to watch it. It's great. I also picked up the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton, not to be confused with the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I always confuse it for because they sound so similar. This one is a mystery. It's a thick boy. I'm not excited about how thick it is, but it's fine. It says, Evelyn Hardcastle will die every day until Aiden Bishop can identify her killer and break the cycle. But every time the day begins again, Aiden wakes up in the body of a different guest. And some of his hosts are more helpful than others. This is really cool. It seems like a game of Clue the entire time you're reading, like trying to figure out who the murderer is. And that is exciting to me. I would like to test myself and see if I can figure out the murderer before it is the big reveal at the end, I'm assuming. But I'm gonna still give it a shot because it seems pretty good and I like playing Clue. So if I like to play Clue, I might like to read this book. I also picked up Vengeful by Everything is Falling. Hold on, please. Okay, sorry, Vengeful. I picked up Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. I actually didn't pick it up. It was mailed to me. I bought it off a girl on Depop for pretty cheap. It's pretty used and a little bit dirty, but it's fine. Vengeful is the sequel to Vicious. I believe it is only a duology, but I think I saw something that she was gonna write another one, and I'm like, why wouldn't you write them in the series, like, chronologically? Like, don't come back to it years later. Why? I know she's doing that with A Darker Shade of Magic. She's adding on to it, and it's just like, why do you take breaks? Like, you didn't have to write Out of the Room between them, or just don't come back. I don't know. I don't know why I'm complaining. I'm sorry. V. Schwab is just, sometimes her Instagram posts are a little bit much for me. By that I mean like the way she captions her stuff. Me and my friends Teresa and Lisa had a conversation about this, and I'm not going to go into depth about it, but I just sometimes V. Schwab is too much. But I'm really excited to read Vicious, so I knew I was going to need Vengeful. I think Vicious is one like A Darker Shade of Magic, I read the whole thing, the whole trilogy, like back to back to back. So I'm pretty sure with Vicious, I'm gonna want to read both of them. So obviously I needed to get Vengeful, and when I saw it cheap from some girl on Depop, I was like, yes, mine, I'm gonna buy it. He's getting kicked out. He's being bad. Please take him away. Take him to the dungeons. Sorry, my dog is eating my carpet, literally eating my rug, and that's not okay. We don't accept that. He needs to learn. But next book, I picked up The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan Hay. I read this book this month. I absolutely loved it. It is so good. It is a young adult sci-fi, which is cool. This book is told from the point of view of two different sisters. One of them, whose name is C, wakes up on an island and does not remember how she got there, how to get off the island, or pretty much anything. She only has a few memories that come to her like over time and very sporadically. The other sister's name is Casey, and she's trying to figure out exactly what happened to her sister and how she disappeared. Along with all of this, the sci-fi aspect of this book is really in the world. So this book is a futuristic Earth where the environment has totally like gone to shit basically, and people have to live in eco-cities, which are built like not billions, but like really, really high into the sky away from the ground, because the ground and the sea and everything is pretty much contaminated and toxic. And so, yeah, they live up there pretty much in a bubble, and if they want to go down to the actual ground of the earth, they have to wear these anti-skins, which is like a suit, and that's so they don't get poisoned, basically. And there's still people living on the earth, but they're just being exposed all the time and getting sick and everything, and only the kind of wealthier or higher ranking people have gotten to go into an eco-city. Throughout the book, we learn that there are different people who like the eco-cities, people who are working to finding a way to get back on the earth, some people who believe that we're fine in eco-city, let's just push it off for the next generations, we don't need to worry about it. The overall kind of world-ending aspect of the book and the two sisters' storylines all really connect so well, and it's interesting. It's also told every other chapter from a different point of view, so from the two sisters, and we also get different tenses. Like, one of them is told in first person present tense, and the other sister is told in like third person past tense, which is really cool. It was great writing style, it was funny, it was also very smart. Like, you could tell the author had researched, knew what they were talking about with all the scientific stuff. It's almost as if this is something that could have happened, and the things that the STEM people were working on were something that one day we could have to be developing. And so I just overall loved it, and I do recommend. It just came out this month in May, so please check it out. If you haven't, pick it up because it's really good. I also specifically wanted to read this because this month is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, so it was just a great read for that as well. I also picked up Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. This one, as you can see, was a buy one get one at 50% off, as was the Dash and Lily. So that's why I got this one. My mom bought me those two. But this cover is actually really pretty. This one just seems like a classic young adult fantasy that I would enjoy. I don't really remember exactly what it's about, but I know when I had read the synopsis and I've seen it a couple places and some people talking about it. Oh, and my friend Zoe recommended it because she saw that I got it and she was like, I love that book, and I trust Zoe's opinion, so I'm excited to check it out. Listen, I thought I was done too with the contemporaries, but I'm not. Oh my gosh, okay. So I picked up The Lost Love Song by Minnie Darky. I'm not sure how you say that. But this one seems really good because it has a piano. I love pianos. Pianist. Everything with piano. Anyway, this one really intrigued me because it is about this couple originally who are named Diana and Ari. So Ari is a guy and his fiance Diana, they're finally gonna get married, but sadly Diana is taken from him, not before though she composes a song on her piano for Ari, but before she can play it, she dies. So while Ari is struggling and coping with his loss, in Scotland, a world away, Evie, another character, is going through not the same thing, but going through the end of a relationship that she thought would last. And so as Diana's Lost Love Song is something that is basically becoming a phenomenon around the world, it says, winding its way around the world, it just might bring these two lost souls together. So I think that the thought of a love song from a lover who was passed on, that was meant for another lover that can never be, they would never get married, that binding to other people just seems very beautiful to me and heartbreaking. And I love me a good tragedy, and I love me a good cry. So I was reading some reviews and it said that this one was a tearjerker, so I hope it does hit me in the feels. I'm sure it will, and I love stories like that. Just contemporaries that deal with some heavy stuff and make you want to cry. Sign me up. I also picked up Twice Shy by Sarah Hogle. I had seen quite a bit about this one on book Twitter, so I decided when I went to the store to pick it up, and it's a romance, a contemporary adult romance, and I think it's going to be pretty good from what I've seen other people say. I don't exactly know too much about it, but I kind of just wanted to go into this one not expecting too much. I'm not really knowing what it's about, just to see what the story gives me, you know, without knowing anything. So that's how I got this one, and that's why I want to read it. And I was really excited at first to like pick it up as soon as I got it, but now I'm kind of like not, because everybody's already read it, and I'm kind of like, okay, well, I guess the hype's over. But I do hope that I do end up enjoying it. Finally, we've come to the last one, which is definitely a case of saving best for last, because this one is Zara Hussein is Here by Sabina Khan. This one is a young adult book. It's a young adult contemporary about a girl named Zara who, when she was young, her family moved from Pakistan to Corpus Christi. It was really cool because I'm from Texas, and I bought this book at the Barnes & Noble in Corpus Christi, which was kind of, I don't know, I felt a connection. I felt like I had to buy it, but I'd seen this cover that really stood out to me, so I wanted to buy it anyway. So we see Zara when she's in high school. She's a Muslim girl going to a Catholic school, and at Zara's high school there is another character named Tyler who is definitely somebody who is just disgusting. And he makes fun of Zara, he picks on her, he says disgusting things to her because she is Muslim, and it's definitely a hard-hitting book. It brought up like heavy discussion, and when Tyler does one thing specifically that takes things totally too far, Zara's life is literally just thrown into a whirlwind of sadness and bad things. I definitely say this book brings to reality the injustice that people of color face, people of different religious backgrounds face, and just people that don't fit the normal American way of life face. And for that, I did enjoy it. I think Sabina Khan definitely hit it very well and like on the spot, and kept me entertained the whole thing. Like, it was a pretty good paced book. It's not that long, and the story left me with a lot to think about. It left me with some haunting truths, and overall just it was really good. So if you haven't read it, I definitely recommend picking up Zara Hussein is Here. Finally, I think that is it. Oh my gosh, it's like already the sun is going down. This is like 45 minutes, but we're finally done. I hope you enjoyed this very huge book haul. Hopefully you don't see me with another book haul for a while, but I always say that, and I'm always back with more. If you stay till the end, comment down below the stack of books emoji. I love to see who watches till the end of all my videos, and comment down below if you've read any of these. Please tell me, I would love to know. And that's pretty much all I have to say, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Down, yeah. I've been feeling so down, yeah. Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why I'm down, yeah? No friends of mine around.